Hey everybody, Lakes Region Aquariums here today. I hope everybody is enjoying spring so far. It's been really nice here up in New Hampshire. I hope it's going really well for you, and I hope your fish tanks are thriving. Today I want to talk to you about cycling fish tanks. I want to talk to you the very basics of balancing your aquarium. And balancing an aquarium is a very important thing to do in all aquariums. Every single tank around me is balanced right now, and that's why they thrive. They do really well. I don't lose fish, and life is just good in those aquariums. Now, when you first get an aquarium, you basically have a sterile environment. There is no life in there. Nothing is living. It's just a tank of water. Nothing is going on in there. Now, the way you kind of create the balancing process is when you first put fish in there, there's no beneficial bacteria in the tank. There's no living, I'm going to call it living water. There's no live water. That water is just sterile. There's nothing in it besides fish. And now when those fish are in there and they urinate and they drop all their fancy waste and all that fun stuff, then that tank, even if you have the best filtration ever on there, that tank can't handle that. That tank is going to be out of balance. Your ammonia is going to spike up instantly, and that is going to cause harm to your fish. So a lot of times, I'm sure a lot of you have done it, especially if you're watching this video. I know I've done it 100 times in the past, and I know a whole bunch of other people out there who are watching this video right now who have done it. And you know who you are. But even if you have the best filtration, the best gear and everything on the tank, that tank is not going to be able to handle that ammonia spike. Even if you do a huge water change, the next day or something, that you get the fish, which is a terrible idea. Never do that. Your fish tank is going to crash, or you're going to lose the fish you just bought. So a good thing to do when you first get an aquarium, there's actually a few different things you can try out. Maybe your buddy got you into the hobby and they have an already going aquarium, and you could ask them, be like, hey, I'm starting up my own aquarium. I was wondering if I could get some of your aquarium water when you do a water change so I can fill my tank up with it. That's an awesome idea, because that water from their fish tank is live. There's beneficial bacteria. It's a seasoned aquarium. There's living stuff in there. That aquarium can handle fish, obviously. So in that case, you take his water or her water and you put it in the aquarium, your aquarium that you're setting up, and then that way you just let it cycle for a few days. You already have live water. You're going to have a lot better results with introducing fish to an aquarium like that already has good water. A lot of fish stores also sell their aquarium water, so always ask a fish store if they have that beneficially live water that they could buy to start your aquarium up. That's a really good thing to do too. But even if you go down both of those routes, I would definitely recommend waiting a few days, or at least a week, sometimes even a month. I waited in my Oscar tank that's kind of out of view right now. I ran this tank for an entire year before I put a fish in here. A whole entire year just to cycle it. I didn't put anything in there. It killed me to look at it because it would be nice and running every single day, but there was no fish in there. But what I was growing was beneficial bacteria, and a lot of it. What I would do is whenever I did a water change on Meg's tank, or Plant City, actually I didn't use Plant City's water, I just used Meg's tank, and I would use Meg's water to fill this tank and slowly add to it over time to get the sump all seasoned up with some beneficial bacteria. So by the time I got my Oscar finally, I put him in there, and it's been great ever since. He's been in there for about a year now, and he's been just doing just fine. So although patience is everything when it comes to building a beneficial bacteria colony, so definitely the longer you wait, the better results you're going to get. Don't rush into anything in the hobby. That's always going to be a recipe for disaster for sure. Another thing you can try is filter pads that are gross and nasty. You can always go to your buddy's house who has an aquarium, or if you find maybe a lot of fish stores actually do it too. If you go to a really nice fish store and they're really cool people there, they'll actually give you some filter pads from usually their main system of water that's running all their tanks if they're on a single system. And you can ask for those sponges that has beneficial bacteria on it, and usually they'll just give them to you if they're really awesome. Sometimes you gotta pay, which, I get it. But if they don't let you do it, then you'll have to find someone else. But a lot of times those pads are going to have a colony of bacteria on them that is going to help cycle your aquarium. It's going to balance your aquarium. That all that nasty brown looking stuff, that's actually the most beautiful thing you could ever look at in the hobby, because that is your beneficial stuff. That's going to regulate everything in the aquarium. That's going to combat your ammonia, your nitrite, and everything like that. And a little bit of nitrate is good, but if it gets too heavy, then you run into issues. But nitrite and nitrite and ammonia are the ones you want to stay clear of for sure, because those are killers. Those are going to definitely kill off some fish if they're a little extreme. Nitrate, even a little bit of it, can cause some serious problems. So nitrite's one you really want to stay away from. And this is just a basic guide. Like, if you want to go into depth with nitrate and ammonia and pH levels, phosphate levels, nitrite, whatever one I haven't mentioned, watch someone else's video on it, because when I first started the hobby, I had no idea what any of those things were. They didn't make any sense to me. I would try studying them, and I felt like I was in school again. You know, it was just, there's a lot going on. So I feel like putting it in the very basics is a lot easier for some people to understand, especially like me. So that's why I'm making this video, just very basic stuff for balancing your aquarium and the importance of it. So that's why I'm making this video. Just take your time with balancing an aquarium. Those are just a couple little tips you can do when it comes to doing so. Plants, live plants is another thing I wanted to talk about. Live plants are going to help you out in the whole process as well. Let's say you just got some fish and you put them in a relatively new aquarium. That way the plants are going to be able to utilize, you know, the ammonia and the nastiness that goes into the tank right off the bat. They're going to be able to kind of act as a buffer, really, for any really violent spikes in the aquarium. And start small. This is super important. Start small. When you first get a tank and you set it up, I know you want to see 1,000 fish in there, which, you know, and you want to see like all the fish in there. You want to see so many fish swimming around like instantly. You want to get going. I've been there. It's totally fine. But you want to wait. Start with three fish. Start with 3 hardy fish, like Harlequin rasboras or white cloud mountain minnows. Start with some fish that are just super hardy, and wait a while before you even put those guys in. Like, start your tank up with some live water, get your live water going, and then start with 3 fish. Just 3 fish. Start off, we'll watch them for a few days. If you lose fish, fine, but that's just going to let you know you're not ready. And another way you can really tell if you're ready or not is test your water all the time, every day. I mean, at the first start of a new fish tank, if you test your water every single day, it's going to fluctuate all the time. It's going to go through what I call the roller coaster effect, which is where a lot of people lose interest in the hobby because they get sick of dealing with this roller coaster effect. But if you just understand what's going on in the aquarium, then you'll be good. You'll be totally fine if you just realize that the tank is trying to establish itself. It's doing exactly what it wants to do. It's doing exactly what it needs to do just to become an aquarium. It's becoming a small body of water that can sustain itself through bacteria and all those levels of ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, and pH, well, you name it. All those fun things are trying to come together in a nice big circle so the tank can run sufficiently and support life. So, this might sound super confusing. It's hard to talk about this kind of stuff because it does get a little confusing. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a hobby guy, and I do fish tanks, but that is the way I understand it. And for the past 16 years or so, it has gotten me through, and I hope it helps you in this very basic form. I hope I didn't make it sound more confusing than it really is, but thank you guys so much for checking out the video. If you have any questions in the comments, you can leave them in the comments below. Let me know. If you've crashed a tank, let me know about it. I want to know about it. I've crashed tanks. I'll tell you about a horror story for me right now really quick. When I first started my aquarium, I think I had a little 10-gallon aquarium, and it was like Walmart fish. Back when that was a thing. And same thing, I just set up the tank, threw a bunch of fish in tap water. God rest their souls. I am so sorry to all those fish, but that is how you learn. You have to experience it to really learn from it. So that's one of my horror stories. I killed way more fish than that trying to get into the hobby when I was much younger. But let me know some of your problems, or let me know some of your stories of when you killed fish and started up an aquarium the wrong way or whatever. Let me know what happened. I'd love to hear it. And if you have any questions about the video, leave them in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.